Hello and welcome to Earth Calling. We're your hosts, Ed and Lazlo. Every week we bring you a fresh slice of online content, sorting through the likes, the memes, the insta-Queens, the swipes, the scrolls, and the Twitter trolls. Together, we're laying down our 21st century digital legacy. So sit back, relax, and buckle in. This is Earth Calling. Welcome back to another episode. This week we are discussing the new kid on the block, the cool kid in the break yard who's got the nicest packed lunch of all the kids in school.
Break yard? What is a break yard? No, I'm
so
curious.
It's a prison yard.
It sounds like these Gen Z critters are kind of jogging around in orange jumpsuits.
But TikTok is the new kid on the block for sure. Exploded onto the scene last year in 2020 when everybody was hashtag locked down at home with very little to do except watch Tiger King and look at their phones. And this upstart app owned by ByteDance, the great Chinese media conglomerate, has exploded onto the scene and has stolen all of the hearts of everybody below the age of probably about 19. I am very unfamiliar with it, but Lazlo, I believe you have done a bit of digging, a bit of research. Why don't you start with an expose? Pretend, if you will, that I am a 6-year-old. Actually, no, a 6-year-old probably has TikTok. Pretend that I am an 86-year-old who's just had a COVID vaccine and I'm feeling younger than ever.
Feeling hashtag grateful for the vaccine.
Hashtag blessed, hashtag grateful.
Getting applauded by the lines of nurses on either side of them as they are wheeled down.
Yes.
I mean, they're probably able-bodied. They're just told to get in this bloody wheelchair for the photo op.
It makes for a good op, doesn't it?
I've walked every day for 5 years and now you're telling me to get in a fucking wheelchair?
Imagine I'm 86. I'm looking to get into TikTok. What's the deal? What is it?
Yes, well, firstly, hello, Grandpa. Would you like some tea or some, I don't know, flapjacks? Basically, Grandpa, TikTok is an app, and an app is a thing that people use.
I know what a goddamn application is, boy!
Well, Grandpa, and despite the fact that, you know, we do bridge this gap between you being American and me being British very, very well in our family, and that's no issue. I thought I'd explain very clearly from the first instance what an app is, just to really set the scene.
Look, young Lazlo, I've been Skyping your mother, my ex-wife Juliet, for the past 5 years.
Wait, hang on. So, my mother is your ex-wife?
Sorry, your grandmother.
I would have no such thing. Right.
Just explain the goddamn application, boy.
TikTok is an app where you watch very short videos, one after another. In other words, it's an endless scroll. And you remember what scrolling is, Grandpa? I taught you that last year.
Like Tetris? Tetris is a scroller, is it?
Tetris is sort of good. Well done, Grandpa. Tetris is a form of a scroller. But TikTok is, you swipe up after each video and it takes you to a new video. And the videos are very short.
Like Tinder. You swipe left, you swipe right.
Well, I bloody well hope you're not doing any swiping, Grandpa, on Tinder. But yes, you're really getting the hang of this. You do know a lot more than most 86-year-olds, I'll give you that. Essentially, yes, it's a swiping app where you watch a 10-second clip and it takes you to the next one.
But so, okay, fine. So, my southern roots will disappear for a minute. So you watch a video and then you see another video immediately by just swiping up. Am I following these people that I'm being shown the videos of? What are the videos of? Like,
great question. So TikTok's onboarding, i.e. how you actually get into this flow, let's call that swiping thing a flow. It's very, very simple. It just asks you to pick a couple of interests, and then as soon as you've done that, you just are thrown into this video feed. It occupies the whole screen. You see your first ever video. You don't follow anyone to start off with.
So interest-wise, we're thinking World War II.
Exactly.
We're thinking Cuban Missile Crisis.
Smoke grenades, fire grenades.
Fine whiskies. Is that the kind of thing I could look at?
Brisket.
What are the categories?
I mean, it could be holiday travel. It's so banal and so ultimately so meaningless because of what I'll tell you later. But basically, you just say, I'm interested in dancing, I'm interested in cuisine, and I'm interested in sports. And then it shows me videos based on that, which are from anybody on the planet that have been viewed by people who are also interested in that kind of stuff. Yes, basically. But the key thing is to actually point out that TikTok is an app that learns about you the more you use it. So we all know about this kind of modern trend of social networks learning more about us in order to advertise to us. So think of it in that way. TikTok, the more you use it, the more it learns about what kind of content you like. So I just got onto the feed, let's say, and there happens to be a video of a really cool football goal. I'm like, oh, that was a cool football goal. And the longer I spend watching that football goal, the more TikTok knows I like it. So TikTok adjusts its feed based on the videos I watch, basically.
You know, we're all familiar with the scenario where you've gone online, you've looked up a flight to Paris, perhaps. Well, you probably wouldn't fly to Paris, you'd probably take the Eurostar, but you've looked up a flight to Paris, and before you know it, you're getting bombarded on Instagram by flights to Paris. So TikTok is basically using this kind of mumbo-jumbo, scary, algorithmy stuff to understand what Lazlo likes, what Ed likes, and then feeding it, mainlining it to us in these 15-second videos, short form.
Exactly.
And so what's interesting there, and not to go on to too much of a serious tangent, but TikTok has essentially then removed the social element of the feed. And, you know, when you look at something like Facebook or Instagram, you're only looking really at the content that you've decided to be shown by people that you like. Or, you know, in the case of Facebook, your friends. In the case of Instagram, the people that you follow. But you've elected to see that content with the exception of the ads. Whereas with TikTok, it seems, if I understand correctly, that you basically just get fed whatever people who are like you like to watch. Is that right?
Exactly.
In a way, that's amazing because that opens up this whole new crazy world where, you know, my friend Sarah, her lovely patchwork quilt that she's knitted over the holidays is obviously interesting and fair play to you, Sarah, but it's not as interesting as the most interesting thing on the planet that is relevant to somebody like me who, you know, is interested in God knows what.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem is that you use the word interesting quite lightly because the content that floats to the top of TikTok, i.e. the content that humans are most into at any given time, is unfortunately not, here's 10 seconds of Jean-Paul Sartre's incisive commentary on the modern condition of man. Unfortunately, what you see by default when you log onto TikTok is basically attractive women doing dances where they are wearing quite tight leggings. That's just...
Well, hang on. I mean, you know, you say that, and I think the word I should have used was engaging rather than interesting.
Yes.
Because that's what it's looking for. It's looking for hashtag engagement. And, you know, the fact that it has served you that sort of content, attractive women wearing very little, is perhaps indicative of what you need, Lazlo, and that's absolutely fine. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You know.
But I must add that what I'm talking about is the algorithm pre-training. So there's this big term in social media networks, which is how you train an algorithm, particularly in TikTok, how you train the TikTok algorithm to give you content that is actually worthy of your attention. So the longer I spent on TikTok, the less of these videos I promise I saw.
Sure, okay. Yeah.
And now I've got attractive men in leggings. But no, because really, TikTok learns about you the more you watch. So now I rather depressingly have just got basically exclusively videos on people making various dishes, predominantly made with meat, which is quite confusing because I'm a vegetarian, but I think I'm quite fascinated by... Yes, pescatarian, I eat fish. But I think I'm still quite obsessed with the process of cooking meat. So, Grandpa Tom, did you download the app?
Well, as a matter of fact, I did, Lazlo. No, but for the benefit, of course, of our dear listeners, I did, in fact, download TikTok about a week ago. And in doing so, I broke a rule that I set myself last year, because there was a particularly dark period about a year ago in March 2020 when I had very little to do.
March 2020? Let me tell you a story about March 2020, kid. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen things, kid. What have you seen? Well, I saw the inside of my apartment for 3 months straight.
I saw a lot of banana bread.
Yes, a lot of banana bread, a lot of sourdough. But in those dark, dark days of lockdown 1.0, I had very little to do beyond watch Tiger King, and I contemplated downloading TikTok, but I then realised that would probably be the end of me, because a secret that is probably not known to many of our listeners is that I'm a big YouTube fan. So I do enjoy my YouTube, and I view it as a bit of a vice, because when I look at my iPhone statistics at the end of a week, I'm like, wow, how can you actually spend 7 hours on YouTube? Or
oh my god,
well, probably more actually.
You're spending 7+ hours on your phone.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of it's an hour a day, more than an hour a day quite often, and that is enough to get you from London to the Middle East on a plane. Not the right analogy, I feel.
Not quite. I'm wondering if this is...
So what's that in meters?
Yeah, I think you have to present a scenario which people can relate to. People want to do.
7 hours is 2 extended version Lord of the Rings films back to back.
There we go. That is, you got me frothing at the mouth.
The hobbits are going to Isengard, and Legolas is sliding down the Helm's Deep kind of thing on his little skateboard.
Yeah. We bloody love that.
Extended version, he does a little sort of backflip off it.
Really?
No. we digress. But I did download it, all in the name of research, broke my New Year's resolution, and for the benefit of our dear listeners. And I noticed when I downloaded it that I had to type in my age, which initially, was a bit confronting, because I was aware that as a 29-year-old, I would be probably a good 10 years older than the average user, if not more. And it's weird when you have to scroll up like that to sort of like get back to your age. Like, I don't know if you ever find that, but when I'm on these websites and you put in your details, I'm just like, Jesus, 1991. There was a time when that was not that long ago.
I know.
Shit.
I remember the days where it was a quick, up and down scroll.
Flick. Yeah.
Yeah. Setting up Facebook account, done, boom.
Yeah, easy. I'm just about legal to get on this platform. Therefore, I flick back one little click and I'm on there.
Uh-huh.
But imagine in 20, 30 years' time, we would get sort of arthritis from flicking it back. But
it's even worse, just quickly, on the calendars which have that horizontal clicking where you got to click left through the months to get there. And it's just humiliating how many times you got to click.
But so I had to type in my age, and then, as you say, I had to choose my interests. And I think that the interests were also indicative of the sort of content and the sort of demographic that the platform appeals to. Sorry. So I think the interests you could choose were things like comedy, animals, sports, gaming, beauty and style, travel, art, talent, quite a sort of open category, daily life, food, fashion accessories, tech, pop culture, life hacks and DIY, and oddly satisfying.
Yes.
And I look at that and I just thought, life hacks and DIY and oddly satisfying, it's like, are those really beating out kind of politics, religion, the economy? I mean, I sound like a real square here, but I was like, when you go into a bookshop and you look for the different categories, or you're on Amazon and you're looking in the book category, you don't see those those.
No,
At
you
all.
don't. Yeah, you don't see Baudelaire's book oddly
Je m'appelle
le satisfaction d'Odd.
Yeah, exactly. Oddly satisfying. Charles Baudelaire has written an amazing poem on how to watch a tube of toothpaste with somebody squeezing it a little bit hard, but just in the right way for the toothpaste to get onto the toothbrush. And then the sound of the man brushing his teeth is just excellent, quoi.
And of course, wait, no, I'm gonna. And of course, on the Russian Isle, you have Dostoevsky, who wrote series of short stories dedicated to ASMR.
Very niche, yes. Audio sensory. What is it? Something.
Something straight. It's basically where people have incredibly high resolution microphones and they perform little everyday activities close up or whisper into the microphone, and it's very therapeutic. And oddly satisfying.
But so, I was surprised to see some of the heavier hitters absent from the content selection, but perhaps I shouldn't have been. And I dived in with gusto. And initially,
Who's
you're right.
Gusto?
Initially, you're right. I also came across lots of random girls, basically. And I was just like, this is crap. Basically, that was my initial response. I was like, this algorithm has been hyped so much, and it's not even that great. It was just lots of girls going, oh my god, look what my boyfriend did if I did this prank on him. Then the boyfriend's there, and it's, okay, well, this is probably set up, and you're both 16, so what am I even doing here? But then, dear listeners, I saw a video of a monkey running across a room, and he has an owner, and the owner's like, hey, George, and the monkey runs across, and he's wearing little shorts, and he gets given a little package, and he opens it up, and it's, these little zippers, and I thought, this reminds me of George, the monkey from the children's books. Was it the Mischievous George or Mysterious George or something? And I thought, wow, we're onto something. Because monkeys are a little bit of a weakness for me, and George was incredibly cool. And I then thought, yes, how can I sort of be like, yeah, I like this. So I liked it, and I sort of watched it a few times to be like, you should get the hang of this. But then I went through a lot more content, and it was still a bit ropey, still lots of weird couples doing stupid pranks on each other. And then I came across some cats doing the cha-cha slide, and I thought, okay, it's starting to get to know me. There's it was like, boof, just slide to the right, boof, slide to the left. Yeah, and I was like, crisscross. Can they do that? Yes, they can.
I'm getting the impression that our TikToks are quite different because I don't see any animals doing fun dances. I just see a guy pan frying a rump steak.
Mate, you are a very reluctant pescatarian, clearly. Like, I love the fact that TikTok has outed you as a massive carnivore that by dint of his extremely overdeveloped cerebral cortex and general kind of angst has decided to become a pescatarian.
So I've got a question for you. Do you know who Charli D'Amelio is?
Yes, I do.
Explain to our dear listeners who Charli D'Amelio is.
Okay, so Charli D'Amelio, is it D'Amelio or D'Amelio? We'll call it Charli D'Amelio. She is the queen of TikTok.
Yes.
We should probably call her princess. I think she's probably about 16 or 17. And Charli is from Norwalk, Connecticut, which is not far from where I used to live.
Oh my god.
Not that that's important or anything. Okay, relax.
But
okay.
It's kind of like a bit important.
It's kind of cool, but not a biggie. Cool. I've been to the Norwalk Mall. Anyway, so Charli really? Is a Connecticut teen. Yeah, I mean, I went to the Norwalk Mall probably 10 years ago.
Okay.
Actually, more, 15 years ago. Christ. When Charli was do the maths.
One.
if she's 16. Yeah. Charlie is a TikTok teen, and she is known for having 100 million followers. And, what does she do, you might ask? Does she deliver extremely interesting content about where the world is going and how to cope with an extremely fast-moving, fast-paced, ever-changing environment? No, actually, she does 15-second dance clips to lots of great songs. And fair play to her, because she's got 100 million followers. She's making a lot of money. And yeah, I've watched some of the vids. She's pretty cool.
It's remarkable. It's remarkable. So the D'Amelio family, just to further what you're saying, have basically become the royalty of TikTok, like you said. So it's not just Charlie. Her sister Dixie D'Amelio also has a massive following, and she's now trying to make it as a musician in her own right. And her parents also have their separate TikTok accounts. And then, just if that wasn't enough, the whole family has got a D'Amelio family TikTok account. So I think between them, they probably rack up at least 250 million subscribers, which is an absurd amount of people. I mean, so anyway, they have totally overridden TikTok. But what's interesting, like you're saying, is that it's just videos of her dancing. So it's very puzzling to try and understand how that became so vastly popular. I think she's basically an icon for that generation.
Sure. I mean, also, she's a very good dancer. I mean, I confess to having learnt the Carol Baskin dance, which Charlie has done. Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Are you familiar with the? I
am, but it's based, of course, on the song "Savage."
Yeah.
I'm a savage, bougie, ratchet, handsome. I'm a savage,
classy, bougie, ratchet.
That's it, yeah. And that's the video that really became a massive hit. The dance, the Savage.
But I can sort of get it, because if you are of that age and you're locked down at home with nothing to do, I kind of get why she has propelled to such astronomical fame. But Lazlo, one question I have is that you read a lot about being #TikTok famous, and we're familiar with the D'Amelio family and Charlie D'Amelio, who's got 100 million followers. How does one actually become TikTok famous? I mean, are you, Lazlo, TikTok famous?
Well, I mean, if I was TikTok famous, I suddenly wouldn't be recording this bloody podcast.
You'd be doing a sponsored ad. You'd be doing an ad for God knows which brand.
I'd be doing a sponsored TikTok dance promoting the Queen's Gambit on Netflix. I'd be doing the I'm a chess player. Checkmate, stalemate, ended. Back to how I tried to be #TikTok famous. I, of course, decided, and again, we need to rewind the clocks to March 2020. March 2020, let me tell you. We're going to rewind the clocks, because obviously in lockdown, I was looking for different ways to dwindle down those long hours, and I downloaded TikTok. So I downloaded the app, the godforsaken app, I'm calling it, because as I've told you, I have now deleted this app. And I set about trying to basically create a viral video. Now, how do you create a viral video? Well, one of the most empowering things about the platform is that anyone has the opportunity to create a viral video, because every single bit of content you release has a guaranteed audience. You are definitely getting 100 people to watch your video. This is how TikTok understands whether or not to push out that video to more people. So basically, you have to go through this big filter of getting TikTok to believe that your video is good enough to show to 1,000 people after getting to 100. And then if, based on the metrics of the 1,000 people, if it's good enough then, so on and so forth, until gradually it's exposed to a huge amount of people.
So they kind of do like a bit of a dry run. They'll be like, 100 randomers, what do you think of Lazlo? And they'll be like...
100%. Yeah. Well, I didn't quite get his thesis on chess barbecuing, but I'm willing to hear him out. Yeah, so I began experimenting, began creating some stupid videos with various different comic kind of premises.
Okay, so this is a bit of a revelation. So I know Lazlo pretty well. I had no idea that he was a secret TikToker. But Lazlo, talk us through what on earth it was that you were producing. What kind of #content are we talking here?
Oh, it was hashtag cringe as hell. I mean, actually, you know what? One of the ones that got a bit of traction, and I think maybe got me 4,000 views, was a video where I did my favourite accent of all, which is the notorious American person trying to do British accent. Which I just thought is a crowd favourite. You know, people are going to go mental for this kind of, hello there, mate, I'm American and I'm trying to do a British accent. That's yeah.
so you were hello, how are you, John Terry? I like to be British,
Yeah.
but how did
thing-
that actually talk me through? Did you was that just you talking to the camera? Did you have a caption? Because I noticed a lot of these videos that I watched had captions on it.
Yes, so captions are very important. So I did have a caption. My caption was how Americans think British people speak, and then the whole video was me just doing that accent. So,
My caption.
Okay. Kiss me, Harold. What's the line? I don't know why I went to Admiral Nelson after that. Anyway.
Kismet Hardy. Destiny Hardy.
That's it. So that was one of my moderately successful one. My most successful video,
how many views did it get?
that got around 4,000.
It's quite a lot.
It's not bad. My most successful video was, it got 40,000 views. And this one was very banal. It wasn't even funny. I didn't try to be funny. It was me just saying which of these languages is my native one in 5 different languages. And of course, I think it became successful because people just watched it to the... I can see Ed's face, by the way, on the camera, and he just looks like, God. Stop it, you bragging little prick.
What a flex. What a hashtag
That's not a flex.
brag.
You asked me what content I made.
What a hashtag humble brag. Yeah, okay, well, hey everybody, why don't you just guess which of these 17 languages is my native tongue? Okay.
By the way, if it makes you feel better, some of the top-rated comments, because there are around 500 comments on this, were people saying, definitely not French.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. That one got around 75 likes.
Yeah,
and then other people going like, no, in Spanish he has a bit of an accent. I think no Spanish. And so my self-esteem took quite a big of a hitting.
Quite a big of a hitting, yeah. I mean,
a beating.
I'm also concerned because there were probably English people watching it going, well, he's not English either.
Well, that's genuinely what happened. People actually commented saying, no, his English doesn't sound quite native enough.
Were you reading out the same sentence in all the languages, or how did it work?
Yes. So it was literally,
I went to the theatre in my Wellington boots.
No, it was which of these languages was my native one? C'est quoi ma langue maternelle? ¿Cuál de estos idiomas es mi lengua materna? And stuff like that. So, yeah. Какой из этих языков мой родной?
He's off.
He's got his head in his hands. He's pinching that odd space between your eyebrows. What's that space called, by the way?
The nape of your nose, I think.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
It's the nape of your neck, but maybe it's the... for me, it's the glasses support.
Old man's bridge.
Okay, fine, but you got 40,000 views on TikTok, and I think as a duty of service to our listeners, we should include the link to your TikTok account in the show notes. So we will do that, and if you want to watch this video of Lazlo speaking in all 5 of the languages that he speaks, do have a look below. Lucky you.
Yep. Please don't look. Actually, please don't look. Firstly, that would require you downloading the app, and I really don't want you, my listener, to download the app because you will become addicted. You will.
Our demographic have already got TikTok. They're listening to all this going, come on, what are these guys talking about? Yeah.
Bloody hell. I will just say one last thing, which is that my last ditch attempt, and I think it's one of my last videos that I posted to go viral, was, and I was 100% sure this would go viral. I decided to reveal...
You ate a bat in a Chinese market, or...
Funnily enough, one of my videos was related to this. I wistfully said, sometimes I wish I was COVID-19. Then all I'd have to do is visit a seafood market in China and I'd go viral.
I mean, that's funny. That's genuinely funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It wasn't, I think that probably got 800 views. But anyway, so this last-ditch attempt to go viral, I was like, this is going to work. I chose the oddest thing that I can do with my body, and don't worry, it's nothing that gross.
God.
And I decided to film it. And I filmed it with the preface.
How low did you stoop during this 30-day period?
I didn't get naked. That would have come next. I filmed a video of myself tucking my ear into that kind of your ear hole, which is one of my special talents. I'm actually going to show
What's that
Edward.
called, by the way? That is that the
I don't know, the nape of the ear, is it?
the ear canal.
I'm showing Ed live on camera what that looks like.
That's pretty weird, mate. Yeah,
and then
it looks like
you smile, and then you go.
Yeah. And then you popped it up. Yeah, okay.
It looks like a cauliflower.
I think that, sadly, that's all we've got time for this week. If we cast our eyes back over the past 10 weeks, I get the sense that we have hopefully added a good sense of 21st century and indeed 20th century online culture and content to our time capsule for our beloved spacefaring nations.
Dare I say, we might have to increase the capacity of the hard drive we chose. Unwise, I think, to go for 100 gigabytes when, Edward, I told you there was a perfectly well-priced terabyte hard drive just next door. But
very good. Yeah, exactly. Well, so we are, but don't forget that we're burying this in a doomsday bunker where we can probably slip in a few hard drives if required. But along the way, we have, in fact, generated our own content, which we hope you've enjoyed. As ever, please do download us on Spotify, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, and give us a follow on our Instagram account, which is earth_calling_pod. Send us a voice note if you fancy.
Yes, and join us next week for an evening of Netflix and chill.
Oi, oi.
Where we will be discussing the immensely popular online streaming platform and what the bloody hell happened to videos, DVDs, and a good old-fashioned pick and mix at Blockbuster. See you then. Earth out.